Good evening, people. Good evening, people. Arno TV is back with you once again on YouTube. As promised, bringing you more videos and streams about the people that we've discussed for over 4.5 years on this channel and the state of our once great nation, the United Kingdom, which I have to say doesn't feel very united at the moment, does it? Now, last week on Arno TV, we brought you a story about some shocking allegations about the independent journalist Mahyar Tousi, and the allegations allege that person or persons within the Metropolitan Police in London had doxed or leaked his personal information, including his address of himself and 2 other individuals. Now, these allegations, as we've said, are absolutely shocking. That the idea that we have people within our police forces that are using their position, in that police force to gain access to people's personal information that they disagree with politically or otherwise, in order to put that information out into the public domain, and on the back of doing that, that could, these people could be at potential risk of harm, hurt, or even worse on the back of this information being leaked into the public domain. Now, we have an update on this story. Okay, so let's go over to the internet. Let's go over to the internet and let's have a look at what's come out. What further allegations have come out around this story in the last couple of days. So let's start here. Okay, let's start here on Andre Walker's YouTube channel. Now, Andre Walker is also an independent journalist. Okay, now the allegations that he is about to make in this video are absolutely shocking. And if these allegations, and I stress allegations, turn out to be true, then our despicable, vile, abhorrent Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, has some serious questions to answer. And before I press play on this video, I want to make it absolutely clear that these, first of all, are allegations, and secondly, these are allegations made by another independent journalist, Andre Walker, and these allegations are not made by me. But we will be stopping this video to comment on these allegations, because what the allegations are in this video are truly shocking. And if this does not shock and concern you, then there is something seriously wrong. So with no further ado, let me play this video.
Sadiq Khan has ordered the Metropolitan Police to cover up the attack on Mahyar Tousi and the plot to kill him. This is an unbelievable low point for the Mayor of London. Hello everyone, this is Andre Walker. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please do subscribe and hit the bell notification icon. It's the best way to absolutely guarantee you get all of my videos as soon as they are released. Well, I have a source in the London Assembly, which is effectively the Parliament of Government, that have tipped me off about something that is really extraordinary and really astonishing. That Sadiq Khan is personally attempting to intervene to protect the officers who illegally accessed Mahyar Tousi's data and illegally published it in the hope that he would be killed by Islamists.
I'm going to stop that there a moment. I want people out there to think about these allegations. What Andre Walker is saying in this video. He is making some very serious allegations that Sadiq Khan, the Mayor of London, has personally got himself involved in this investigation and is personally trying to protect the person or persons that have allegedly leaked Mahyar Tousi's information, personal information and the information of 2 other people into the public domain, effectively doxing these people and putting these people in a situation where they could potentially come to harm or even worse. I want people to think about how serious these allegations are against Sadiq Khan. Let's continue.
Effectively, let's just recap on the story and then tell you a little bit more about it. As we all know, Mahyar Tousi was being threatened by the Metropolitan Police, who were upset that he was offending Hezbollah. They didn't want him to be critical in any way of Hamas or Hezbollah or any Islamist terrorist organisations. When he made clear and made plain that he felt that he hadn't committed any illegal act whatsoever, and of course, when we started ridiculing the non-crime hate incidents, well, the police then conspired to publish these details. And why this is significant is because of the threat to Mahyar Tousi. We all know that if you publish probably my address or your address, whilst that would be illegal and would be very upsetting, it wouldn't probably place us in a great deal of danger. Whereas, of course, in the case of Mahyar Tousi, we know that the Iranians are after him, we know that he's received death threats, and we know that the publication of his address is a real problem because he has had to move for his own security reasons. Well, what I've been tipped off about is that obviously the police have a suspect of the person that they believe leaked all this information, and they want to deal with it as a professional standards issue. Sadiq wants this person to get off completely and apparently has instructed police leaders to find a way to exonerate this person, whereas I'm advocating a criminal prosecution. People have asked me about this £10,000 reward, and actually
I want people to seriously think about what Andre Walker is saying in this video. He is alleging that the information that he's receiving is that Sadiq Khan has got himself personally involved in this story. Now, as these allegations that we discussed last week, and I need to keep stressing that they are allegations, that somebody, a person or person in the Metropolitan Police Force in London has leaked Mahyar Tousi and 2 other people's personal information into the public domain. As I said in my last video, Mahyar Tousi is an independent journalist. Now, you can agree with Mahyar Tousi or you can disagree with him. That is your right. It's everybody's right to agree or disagree. But nobody has the right to go out there and start threatening people with violence, intimidating people, issuing death threats towards people because you have a difference of opinion politically or otherwise. This is supposed to be a democracy. And these allegations, okay, are so serious, people, because what allegedly has happened here is that, as I've said, person or persons that are working within one of our police forces, the biggest one, the Metropolitan Police, have effectively used their own position to gain personal information about people that they disagree with in order to put that out into the public domain. And on the back of that, there could be potential harm being done to somebody on the back of that information. This is not acceptable. This is supposed to be a democracy, may I remind everybody. And people have the right to their own opinion, and it's quite easy. If you don't like what Mahyar Tousi puts out on his YouTube channel and his delivery of the news and his personal opinions that he gives on stories, then it's quite easy. You quite simply do not watch the guy. You do not go out there and start advocating for violence. This channel, as we've said on many occasions, does not support anybody from whatever side of the political argument that you think you're on. We do not support anybody that goes out there and advocates for violence, advocates for intimidation towards people, advocates racism. We do not approve or condone or anything like that. And we do not condone members allegedly of our police force, doxing people's information that they disagree with. This is an absolute disgrace, and anybody who is for a politicised police force, yeah, may I remind those people that if they bothered to look back through European history of the last 70 years, yeah, then they may find that the police forces that became politicised were organisations like the Gestapo and the Stasi. Is that what people out there are advocating for? Because if you're advocating for organisations like this, where if you say anything that these people don't like or disagree with, or you put one toe out of line, that you're arrested and thrown in jail or disappeared or even worse, unlived. Because this is not something that this channel agrees with at all. And any right-minded thinking person out there would not be endorsing anything of this nature. Let's continue.
Actually, I was on Dan Wotton's channel. He's a good bloke, Dan Wotton, actually. Believe it or not, even though we both worked at Talk, I don't know him that well. I sort of on nodding terms with him, but I did appear. And he asked me about this £10,000, and people in the comment section apparently were sort of saying, well, I don't have £10,000. Well, look, I'm not saying that it's easy to pony up £10,000. I was clear from the outset that I would do whatever it took. I said I'd sell a kidney, get a begging bowl, save up, whatever it is, because it's such an important issue to defend our country. And let me remind you of what that £10,000 pledge was. I said that I would give £10,000 to anybody who gave me information leading directly to the conviction of any police officer, member of the security services or civil servant who had illegally accessed Mahyar Tousi's data or attempted to leak it. I think that is pretty much fair enough. And what it's also done is...
So as you can hear, Andre Walker is offering to stump up £10,000, potentially of his own money, for anybody that provides information about the member of the police or security services that's leaked this kind of personal information. I want people out there to think about how serious this is. Because, as I said, you can completely disagree with Mahyar Tousi. As I said in the previous video, I don't agree with everything that Mahyar Tousi says. I don't agree with everything that most people say. But it doesn't give me the right, just because I disagree with somebody, politically or otherwise, to start threatening people, doxing people's addresses or issuing death threats towards people. This is not acceptable behaviour in a democracy from anybody. I want people to think about the kind of world and society that people like Sadiq Khan and our despicable Prime Minister Keir Starmer are taking the road that these people are taking us down. This is frightening, people, that this kind of thing is going on. Okay, it's frightening. Okay, and he's just mentioned, Andre Walker, about these non-crime hate incidents. So let's just have a look on the government website, yeah? Let's just have a look on the government website and let's get the government, our despicable government, to define what non-crime hate incidents are. Okay, let's just have a look at this. Okay, here are the definitions on .gov.uk of what defines a non-crime hate incident. And I want people to start thinking about the kind of laws that these type of people are imposing all over us. Okay, so let's look at the definition of a non-crime hate incident. And may I remind you, that Mahyar Tousi, has been spoken to by the police following making a joke, about a prescribed terrorist organisation. Okay, this is where we are. So this is what the definitions are, of a non-crime hate incident. Number 11, a non-crime hate incident, or NICHI, means an incident or alleged incident that involves or is alleged to involve an act by a person, the subject, which is perceived by a person other than the subject to be motivated wholly or partly or by hostility or prejudice towards persons with a particular characteristic. So just on this first line here, this is completely based on perceptions, what someone perceives. Now let me remind people out there, just because you perceive something to be true doesn't necessarily make it true. So how can these people be passing laws on perceptions and how subjective something is to somebody? This is absolutely ridiculous. The following section provides further information relating to the meaning of the words used within the above definition. It also includes information about an additional threshold test that the recording authority should consider if they are seeking to include a subject's personal data in a non-crime hate incident record. Okay, so you know, again, is the recording of such data in a non-crime hate incident that has to be subject to an additional threshold test, does it? Okay, Section 3 sets out further considerations that the recording authority should take into account when deciding to record a non-crime hate incident record. Section 4 sets out vital freedom of speech considerations that the recording authority should take into account. The recording authority should also refer to Annex 3, which provides a summary of all the considerations that should be taken into account during the decision-making process. I mean, this is subject to, this is so subjective, it is beyond belief, okay? And all we keep hearing about is how something is perceived. This is like the implementation of ad hoc law, because what one person perceives to be hateful, then another may not have that perception at all. This is absolutely unbelievable, and they are making laws about things like this. I want you to think about that. This is insanity, okay? The incident. An incident is defined in the National Standard for Incident Recording, the NSIR, as a single distinct event or occurrence which disturbs an individual, group or community's quality of life or causes them concern. The NSIR covers all crime and non-crime incidents. I mean, this is just unbelievable. So anybody effectively could say that something caused them concern, and just because something caused somebody concern somewhere, do people out there think that because one person's perception of something caused them a perceived concern, that should give the police the right to go around to somebody's house and potentially, interview them about one of these non-crime hate incidents? This is absolute insanity. However, this threshold in and of itself is not sufficient to warrant a non-crime hate incident record being made. When an incident occurs, a non-crime incident is recorded on policing systems as set out in the NSIR, but this code sets out other considerations that should be taken into account in order to determine whether the incident should be recorded as a non-crime hate incident. So how many people have to have an opinion on something for it to be recorded? Because what I'm taking from this is there's all sorts of perceptions, and people's personal perceptions will vastly differ from person to person. Whether something is going to be recorded as a non-crime hate incident. This is, like I said, this is like the imposition of ad hoc law, people. A particular characteristic, okay, so it's talking about the characteristics now. A particular characteristic for the purpose of a non-crime hate incident recording means a characteristic that is protected under hate crime legislation. So race or perceived race, a group of persons defined by reference to race, colour, nationality, including citizenship, or ethnic or national origins, religion or perceived religion. A group of persons defined by reference to religious belief or lack of religious belief, sexual orientation or perceived sexual orientation, a group of persons defined by reference to a sexual orientation which towards persons of the same sex, the opposite sex or both, disability or perceived disability, references to a disability which means any physical or mental impairment, transgender identity or perceived transgender identity refers to being transgender, including references to being transsexual or undergoing, proposing to undergo, or having undergone a process of part of a process of gender reassignment. I mean, how many times are we going to read in this document here the word perceived, perception? How can our despicable government be passing laws on perceptions? This is insanity, and this is where things like wrongthink and thought crime emanate from. Legislation like this. Are people out there understanding this? Okay, because nobody's arguing. Yeah, nobody's arguing that people shouldn't be allowed to be, prejudiced against somebody on a racial ground, or a religious ground, or a sexual orientation, or a disability, etc. Nobody of sound mind is arguing things like that. Nobody's disagreeing with that. But when you are passing laws about the perception of something, how it's perceived, we have laws in existence already, okay? And if somebody is clearly breaking the law, then there are laws in place to prosecute someone who has broken a law. How can something be a non-crime hate incident? So no crime has been what they are effectively saying to you, a crime has not been committed, but because of something you've done or said has been perceived by somebody to be hateful, then we're going to come and see you. Yeah, we're potentially going to come and see you, should I say. We're potentially going to take your details. We're potentially going to record your details, in relation to a non-crime hate incident. And may I remind you, because obviously this is all open to perception so much, what one officer perceives to be hateful may be very different to what another officer perceives to be hateful. And we're going to have situations where people out there will have to go through a DBS check or an advanced DBS check for certain kind of employment, and because somebody out there perceived that someone once said something that somebody perceived was one of these non-crime hate incidents, then this could be on your record. This is insanity, people. This is insanity beyond belief, because how can we be passing laws like this that are subject to somebody's perception of something, which can vary dramatically from person to person, group to group, whatever it may be? This is just absolutely ridiculous, and this is the kind of thing that people like Sadiq Khan and our despicable Prime Minister Stalin Starmer are pushing all over us. I want people to think about this. When I told you in the pandemic about the dark road that these people were taking us down, I wasn't kidding. Passing laws that are so subjective is unbelievable, and you are criminalising people out there that, most people out there would probably think that half of these incidents that happen probably didn't want any kind of criminalisation, because they are so subjective to somebody's personal opinion, it's beyond belief. This is absolutely absolute insanity. And this is the kind of thing that these people are pushing all over us. This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Let's just go back to this video. I'll leave the link to this. And remember, this is from .gov.uk. This is not conspiracy theory, okay? So let's continue with a bit more of this video.
It's enabled me to get information like this about Sadiq, because people are getting in touch left, right and centre. Well, let me talk a little bit about Sadiq. I will tell you something about this situation when he was a complete hypocrite over various issues. One of them, of course, was his relationship with Babar Ahmed. Babar Ahmed was the father of Al-Qaeda's online presence, and Sadiq Khan has variously described himself as a relative, best friend, and somebody he didn't even know. All of those fairly similar. But he visited him multiple times in prison. He said he visited him when he was his MP, but in fact he actually visited him before that. So Sadiq is...
So there are also further allegations in this video, as you can hear, made by Andre Walker, not myself, by Andre Walker, the independent journalist, that Sadiq Khan also has all sorts of links to extremism. Okay, and let's just have a look at this, okay? Because this is in the Evening Standard. This came out in 2016 when Sadiq Khan was running for London Mayor. So this came out the 22nd of July, 22nd of April, should I say, 2016. And what does it say here in the Standard? Sadiq Khan shares platform with 5 Islamic extremists. Exclusive. Women were told to use a separate entrance at the meeting, which mayoral hopeful attended. Sadiq Khan shared a platform with 5 Islamic extremists at a political meeting where women were told to use a separate entrance, the Evening Standard can reveal. Labour's candidate for Mayor of London took part with an activist who has threatened fire throughout the world, a supporter of terror group Hamas, a preacher who backs Islamic State, and a Muslim leader accused of advocating attacks on the Royal Navy if it stopped arms being smuggled into Gaza. Invitations said all welcome, but was made clear to women that women would be segregated at the door, stating ladies' entrance on Lessingham Avenue next to the snooker club. So in this article in the evening in the Standard from 2016, there's all sorts of allegations about Sadiq Khan's links to Islamic extremists, basically, okay? And it shows you in this article, okay, the people that attended this meeting. And one of those people, surprise, surprise, was Jeremy Corbyn as well, who denies in this article attending this meeting, but he was on the list of the people that were going to attend this meeting. But one person that we can be sure did attend this meeting was Sadiq Khan. And here's a clip of a video from that meeting, okay? This is Sadiq Khan at that meeting.
Audience, his brothers and sisters. A reminder that Khan has extensive ties to Islamic extremists, convicted terrorists, and terrorist sympathisers. Here is that video.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Namahu wa nasalli ala Rasulil Kareem. Brothers, sisters, respected elders, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I want to begin by saying congratulations to... As British Muslims, we are a vital part of...
So here you can see on the Dan Wootton show, Outspoken show, he is making allegations about Sadiq Khan's links to extremism, okay? We also know about Sadiq Khan's links to the World Economic Forum, don't we? Because we've had him over at Davos in 2021 in the middle of the pandemic, stating publicly that he viewed the pandemic as an opportunity, didn't he? Pushing their divisive globalist agendas all over London boroughs. This is who Sadiq Khan is. And now we've got allegations here of his links to extremists, okay? And there's another article about his links to extremists here that came out this year on the 27th of February 2024, and this is in the Express. Sadiq Khan's past links to extremists are the basis of questions about his record as mayor. In 2016, Sadiq Khan successfully portrayed questions about his links to extremists as Islamophobia. But his record as mayor raises new questions. Lee Anderson, who had been suspended by the Conservative Party to much of the disgust of the many Tory MPs because of an allegedly Islamophobic remark made about the London mayor, Sadiq Khan. Now, in that last video that we just watched, we quite openly saw somebody in that meeting clearly displaying an ISIS flag, okay? Are these the kind of people that Sadiq Khan thinks it's okay to platform? I mean, what is going on here with this man? I mean, the allegations against him, effectively trying to put the kibosh and block any kind of prosecution or any kind of punishment or anything to whoever it is that's leaked out Mahyar Tousi's details and to other people's details. I mean, this is shocking, people. Shocking that we have a mayor of London, that has these kind of allegations against him. And as I said, these allegations of his links to extremists have been printed in the Standard, in the Express. We've got Dan Wootton talking about it. We've got Andre Walker talking about these allegations. And this man is potentially up for a knighthood, is he? A knighthood? This man's a total failure as a politician. As a mayor of London, we have knife crime out of control, gun crime out of control, gang crime out of control. We have alleged no-go areas in our once great city of London. People having street robberies are out of control. Street robberies with violence are out of control. And this man's up for a reward, up for a reward, as well as this man being up to his neck and working hand in hand with the World Economic Forum, pushing their globalist divisive agendas. This man is a disgrace, an absolute disgrace. And these allegations, if these allegations are true, if these allegations turn out to be backed up by fact, Sadiq Khan should be fired immediately. Immediately. He's a disgrace. A disgrace. Okay? Let's just have a look at what Mahyar Tousi has said, on this continuing story of these potential leaks by persons allegedly involved in the Metropolitan Police, because it's just frightening, the idea that we are going down the road of a politicised police force. And may I remind people out there, you only have to look back through recent European history over the last 80 years, and let me, and you look at what police forces were politicised in Europe. We're talking the likes of the Gestapo and the Stasi. And anybody out there that is advocating for those kind of organisations to make a reintroduction into British society, is not only deluded, they're insane, okay? They are insane. If you are advocating for things like this, there really is no hope for you. None at all. And these allegations are frightening, people. Frightening. The idea that we potentially have people that are working within our police forces, that just because they disagree with what somebody is saying politically, that they think that they've got the right to dox their information in public, and potentially puts people's life at risk. This is absolutely frightening, people. And if you think that this is not frightening and it's all fine and dandy to have a politicised police force, well, you just wait. You just wait until you say one thing wrong, put one toe out of line, and someone turns up at your door, yeah, and throws you in jail, disappears you, yeah, or even worse. You know, what are you advocating for next, these people? Unlifing people is okay. This is not acceptable by any stretch of the imagination. And this channel, like I've said on many occasions, this channel does not support or condone anybody that thinks it's acceptable to go out there and promote violence, issue death threats towards people, or worse, because you disagree with them politically. This is not the behaviour of anybody in a so-called democratic society, and it is not acceptable from anybody from whatever side of the political argument you think you're on. This is insane, people. Insane. Okay? So let's just hear what, you know, these three gentlemen have got to say, because these are the three gentlemen that have had their information leaked, you know, allegedly leaked by alleged person or persons within the Metropolitan Police.
Things on the police thing, because they've been difficult on you, right? The police.
Exactly. You know, even we have a serious problem with the police. Police put many condition on me. 1 year, try to, you know, stop me. Is that okay? This is a fight, but you know, this is not fair if they, you know, publish your information. Serious. They put your life, your family's life in danger. You know, I try to be quiet and don't think anything against the police right now, because I know they are they my family's life, my self life is on their hand. Actually, they can.
I want people to think about that. It's not just these three gentlemen's life that are potentially being put in danger. We're talking about people's family and children. And anybody that's out there, yeah, anyone that's out there that is advocating for putting people's family, people's children in danger because you disagree with them politically, you're an absolute disgrace. A disgrace, okay? This is not acceptable behaviour from anybody by any stretch of the imagination. And if Sadiq Khan, if it is proved, and these allegations that Andre Walker has made against Sadiq Khan, okay, are true, he needs to be sacked immediately. Immediately. This is not acceptable. It is not acceptable by any stretch of the imagination from anybody. And may I remind people that, as I said, Mahyar Tousi is an independent journalist, okay? I don't agree with everything that Mahyar Tousi says, okay? I don't agree with everything that most people say, but it doesn't give me the right, it does not give me the right to go around threatening people, intimidating people, issuing death threats towards people that I don't agree with. And nobody in a democracy has those kind of rights to do that kind of thing to anybody. It is supposed to be a democracy. This is an absolute disgrace. And as I said, these allegations against Sadiq Khan are very, very, very serious indeed. Very serious. And the idea that someone like Sadiq Khan has got himself personally involved in this story and has now got allegations being made by people like Andre Walker that they are actively trying to prevent punishment of the person or persons that has leaked Mahyar Tousi's information and these other two gentlemen's information into the public domain because they don't agree with them and have used their position within the Metropolitan Police to do this kind of thing is not acceptable whatsoever, and it should not be accepted by anybody. Because let me remind people out there, freedom of speech and freedom of expression, of course it has its limitations, yeah, of course, and there are laws in place that prevent people from going over going over those limitations. And anybody that does go over those limitations and starts advocating for things like violence or racism or anything like that, then the police have every right to go and see those people. Yeah, and you wouldn't get any arguments from me on that. But people do not have the right. People do not have the right to take the law into their own hands, yeah, and use their position, especially within an organisation like the police, to start doxing people's information online that you don't happen to agree with, okay? Freedom of speech means absolutely nothing unless somebody, a person or persons that you disagree with, has the right to go and say things that maybe you don't agree with, yeah? And it means nothing unless people can do that, yeah? And I'm not saying that anybody has the right to go out and break the law, as we've just mentioned, but everybody has the right to their own opinions. And Mahyar Tousi is an independent journalist. You can agree with him or you can disagree with him. And if you disagree with him so much that he offends you in some way, well, it's quite simple, isn't it? Don't watch him. Don't watch his YouTube channel. But it doesn't give you the right to go out there and threaten and intimidate people. What on earth have these kind of people that we've been speaking about on this channel since the start of the pandemic, what on earth have they done to this country? This country is in an absolute mess that things like this are going on. Things like this are going on. And people wonder why I come online and I tell people how concerned I am with the state of our once great nation when there are allegations, serious allegations like this about a senior politician in this country like Sadiq Khan. Okay? Sadiq Khan is a total failure as a politician, a total failure as the London mayor. By every single metrics you could possibly imagine, he is a failure. Knife crime is out of control. Gun crime is out of control. Gang crime is out of control. Street robberies are out of control. Street robberies with violence are out of control. I lived in that city for 18 years of my life. So I think I can comment on what it's like to live in London. And let me tell you something. That level of violence was not happening for the 18 years that I lived in London. And when I have been back to London in the last few years, it is unrecognisable what is going on in that once great city. And the idea that someone like Sadiq Khan, where things like this have not only gone on, escalated under his watch, is up for a reward, up for any kind of reward, is an absolute joke. And there is now a petition that is going round for those people that object to the idea of this total WEF-sponsored puppet, okay, who thinks it's okay and has allegations against him, should I say, has allegations against him of platforming extremists as well, that this kind of person should be up for any kind of reward is a complete and utter joke, a farce, a disgrace. This man is a complete failure as a politician, as we've said, on every metrics. And he has a lot of questions to answer, doesn't he? Sadiq Khan, you're a disgrace, an absolute disgrace. And I will be leaving that petition in the link to this description. So if you feel so inclined to sign it and object to the idea of this man potentially being rewarded, then you're free to do that, okay? Because this is where we are with these kind of people. And this is the dark road that people like Sadiq Khan and our despicable Prime Minister, Stalin Starmer, has taken us down. Okay? This is the road that these people have taken us down. And they are a total and utter disgrace. And what they have done to this country and what they are doing to ordinary people from all walks of life in this country, of all backgrounds, all races and religions, is a disgrace. They are trying to divide us all. They are trying to divide us all, and they are playing identity politics with everybody and trying to cause utter chaos with us all. And it's about time that people out there realise what these people are doing, because they are gonna take this country into utter chaos, okay? And it is us people at the bottom, especially the working classes, that are going to be the ones that are under the kibosh of it all. And this is not acceptable. It is not acceptable. People need to start speaking out about what is going on. Do not find yourself on the wrong side of history, okay? Find yourself on the right side of history. And it's, as I've said as I've said in some recent videos, it's going to take a lot of brave people from all different backgrounds to start speaking out now about what is going on. We cannot, in a democracy, have this kind of thing going on. It is not acceptable. And the fact that these are allegations are out there in public about one of the the most powerful political figures in the country is an utter disgrace. Sadiq Khan is an utter disgrace. He's been a total failure as a mayor and a total failure as a politician. And, there's all sorts of allegations about his links to extremism. But one thing we can be damn sure on, that we know is 100% fact, that he's working hand in hand with the World Economic Forum, pushing their divisive globalist agendas through every single London borough. So, as I've said on a few occasions, if you are living in London and you weren't aware that your despicable mayor was working hand in hand with the World Economic Forum, well, you do now. And you only have to go and take a look back. And if just so nobody thinks that this is conspiracy theory, we have Sadiq Khan on record in Davos in 2021 on video, him publicly stating that he viewed the pandemic as an opportunity, didn't he? And look at the draconian measures and laws that these type of individuals have implemented all over us since then. This is a disgrace, and it's time for people to wake up and speak out against people like Sadiq Khan, okay? They are a total disgrace. So I'm going to leave it at that for this evening, but I just want to thank my subscribers out there. Really appreciate obviously the new subscribers that I've noticed that have come in, and my existing subscribers. But if you do like this channel and you are watching this channel and you haven't subscribed to it, then please subscribe to this channel. And once you have subscribed to this channel, then ring the notification bell so I can inform you wonderful people out there about future videos that I'm going to be putting out, future streams that I'm going to be putting out, about all these people and what they are up to. Because the time is coming in the future, there is a time that is going to come where all of these people, all of them we have spoken about over the last 4.5 years on this channel, all of them are going to be made to answer some serious questions about what on earth these people have been up to. But for now, I'll be back soon with some more videos for you, as promised. But until then, I want everybody to take care, look after yourselves, your friends, your family, and your loved ones. And whatever you do, people, whatever you do, stop listening to people like Sadiq Khan and Stalin Starmer, who are pushing divisive policies that are looking to divide all of us, because they are a total and utter disgrace.